I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Radash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David. And Shalom to the 130 Asherallah, who today are called the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, but before losing their true heritage throughout history, were known as Israelites of the Holy Bible. Now, in today's video, I want to go ahead and touch upon something that I could see stirring up amongst the general populace, which is ultimately going to lead to sedition amongst men, as it tells you in the Bible. Basically, riots. You see, first of all, what's coming, the riots, it's not a spontaneous thing, and it's not natural. These are the chaos which the devils that run this world have orchestrated to bring forth these so-called riots. Because you see, these devils who are known as the wicked in the Bible, under Job 9:24, it tells you the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, because you see rulership of the world was given over to the nation known as Edom. Now, the Edomites, or the nation known as Edom, would be who you would call today the so-called Caucasians. You see, this is the reason why these people tend to have that saying that they have no culture, they have no roots, or they tend to be culture vultures. The reason is because, as it was prophesied in Genesis when the curse was put onto Cain, who these people ultimately are Cain's spirit reincarnated when he came in through the line of their forefather Esau. They are fugitives and they're vagabonds, basically meaning they're wanderers on the world. Well, back to the point that I was making. You see, these wicked devils that rule, who are the true rulers of the world, use all these organizations, and what they're doing is that the Lord has put it into their heart to bring all the people of the world under one consent. You see, even though it's being orchestrated by the spiritual angel known as Satan, who they worship, because he's tricked them into thinking that he's going to provide them salvation, because they ultimately know that when the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and thinks he looks like this image right here, whose real name is Yahweh Shai, which means he is salvation, and he would be known today as a Negro. You see, they know that when he comes back, he's going to destroy. They know that the Lord will be destroying them and their kingdom. So in doing so, they've set up these organizations to initiate civil unrest, because they have to destroy the old world system to create the new world system, or as they refer to it, the new world order. But you see, they don't understand that the true world order is coming right out, even before they get to set that up. Well, let me get to the point where I was saying. This here is a site called Imager. Now, this is a popular, basically, news bulletin, image posting site. It's really good for finding the latest images, mimes, and just news going around the internet. Now, one thing that this might just seem like a silly mime, but we're gonna go through some of the comments and we're gonna read what some of these people are saying. Now, predominantly, the visitors of the site are Edomites, right, or just general, Joe Schmoes, right? Regular people who are all about fucking love and all about equality and the LGBT, positive love movement. These would be the people who you would consider your social warriors and your what the world would be considered the good people, right? The average nice guys come to this site, right? And also because Imager and Reddit, they're some of the most popular news aggregate sites out there. They tend to always have the latest news. For example, things that you'll see on these sites will be things that get revealed onto like regular news station or regular mainstream media in about a week or two. Now, getting to this point, let's look at this post. It says, "Do you want civil unrest? Because that's how you get civil unrest, right?" That's the name of the topic. Now, what does the mime say? The mime says, CEOs and politicians raise prices of critical medical services and medicines, while insurance avoids paying for anything, decreases workers' benefits while increasing their own compensation, and bonuses, starts revoking degrees and licenses from those struggling with student debts. And the workers, they riot and strike, and the politicians and the CEOs, they're all shocked. All right, that's what this mime's about, right? And it's funny because it's true, right? But see, this is looking at the situation from a naive perspective. This is looking at the situation not knowing who these people are, right? Because they think this is all just happenstance. They think that this is just happening because of bad economics and greedy people. You see, those greedy people who these children are blaming are really just filling their pockets while the stores burning down. You see, they know that America is coming to an end. They know that their time to fleece the sheeple over here is coming to an end. So that's why in 2008 you had all Wall Street basically grab the money and run to New Zealand, Australia, China, and all the rest of the world, but get out of Babylon. And the only people left here are the Israelites, who are stuck here because of lack of resources, or because, you know, this is where the Lord put us. And you just got the low-level Edomites, people like this, right? So let's read some of the comments, right? Because here, let's take a look at this. This is one of the comments I wanted to read. All right, this is from another site. It says, someone should probably tell the rich that workers banding together to present formal addresses of grievances is the alternative worked out a long time ago to breaking down the factory owner's front door and beating him to death in front of his family. I feel like they forgot. Not only that, but look, you got images of guillotines, right? Referring back to the 1700 riots over in France, where they basically went and killed off all the I think it was in the 1800s. Let's take a look real quick at the timeline, right? Let's see here. This happened during the let's see, where's it at? Oh, here we go. The French Revolution, 1789 to 1799. Pope Gregory the 8th introduced his calendar to Salaki, that's another bad. I gotta update these, but ultimately the French Revolution happened during this time, right? So this is when you had Napoleon Bonaparte happen, and then you also had the French people rioting, and this is where you get that famous photo from, right? Because people just had enough, and that's exactly what's happening right now over in Paris with the riots, right? You know, these people, these Edomites here they're more easier triggered because they understand freedom. Over in Europe, they don't have it. They're not as dumbed down at it as a lot of you dumb Americans are over here, right? They don't allow GMO foods over there, and they understand when they're being screwed over, right? But you know what? Let me let's just get through some more of these comments. I'm gonna read the scriptures and we're gonna break down some where this is in the Bible, right? So, not to mention, if you're a U.S. government worker, you're being forced to work for no pay, but expect to meet all your bills. Seems good, right? See, because people freaking know that this is it's bullshit, right? And people are, look, they're even coming out talking shit. What's this one? Maybe if I tell me the bad news in a good way, it won't sound so bad, right? See, being that, I'm guessing he probably meant bring that yellow jacket movement to America. You know, similar shit happened to the ancient Romans. Then came along Julius Caesar to fix the shit. We'll see. I doubt this ain't gonna be fixed. So says the Bible. This place is going down. So let's see. I am ready for current year Mad Max. Right? See. Anyone had their degree revoked due to student loans? I've never heard of. Well, what does it say? Florida is trying to pass a bill where medical professionals will get their licenses revoked if they miss a single student loan payment. Right? So you see, ultimately, what's happening is that these people are starting to rise up. Right? The Lord is stoking the fires. But let's go and read this. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And it says, the hand of the man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question Ezra asked thou not. So ultimately this is the point here, right? Because what's happening is you're seeing Esau's world, Esau being the so-called Caucasians, their world is coming to an end. That's what you're seeing right now. That's why, even though they believe this is a planned, orchestrated chaos, this is why their plans are being discovered. This is why Trump is being found to be a liar to Congress. Why they're now seeking to impeach him because of that. The Democrats and Republicans are fighting against each other. You're having Edomites starting to fight against each other, shoot each other over fucking mattresses and alleys. Right? The curses are starting to fall on these Edomites. And Jacob, we're the beginning of the next world, which is going to be the lasting world that's going to last forever under the rulership of the Lord. And we're going to be co-rulers with him. Right? So says the Bible. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition amongst men. Sedition means basically no longer following the rule of your leaders, right? This is why people are not starting to follow Trump, saying he's not my president. You know, they're not following these crooked politicians who are being found to be crooks and liars, right? People were even starting to stand up against these police, right? I think this last month you had a huge wave of police officers being shot down, right? That's the people standing up. And imagine all the other stories that aren't being reported because they don't want this to come out into the news. Don't think that shit ain't happening. Let me continue. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? This is what's happening. These people, the course of their action is standing in their power. Right? They're standing against the wicked government. Because what? The president of France, he was basically a Rothschild banker who was put into place to basically lead the French people into the New World Order. You know? Leading them into hell in a handbasket. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And the sword nowadays is the modern day gun, right? The weapon. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. This is, because see, that's ultimately what's coming. See, here's a poster I'm working on, and it ultimately so like, let me adjust the size of it. But this is the poster, which is ultimately depicting the coming martial law, right? And the dead that, you know, because this is ultimately what's going to happen. The martial law is going to come in. They're going to probably bring in the UN troops, if not be invaded by the Chinese, right? And then also you're gonna have the police and the SWATs on the streets. And what they're gonna do, the people that they don't kill, the people who are standing up against rioting against the people with guns or what they call the modern day swords, right? These people who are going to fight against the elite, right? What's gonna happen is you guys are all gonna be shut down in the street like dogs, like it tells you in the Bible, right? There's gonna be streets filled of your dead, right? People are gonna have to watch where they step. They're gonna be throwing out your little babies onto the streets to clean out these houses, right? Just like what happened in Haiti here. That shit's gonna come over here soon, right? And for the people who survive, or you're gonna go right into these FEMA camps. The FEMA camps that have been getting set up since before 2000, right? But hey, you're gonna have a nice baseball field and a little coliseum to go in and stuff and relax. Don't worry, you'll be fine. And Babylon the Great, the 10 parts of Babylon, living in your little tent houses, right? Because that's ultimately what's coming. And this is the ending. I'm going to end it on this scripture here. This is 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them in that latter time, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted. That's right, because ultimately this truth is ultimately going to lead to you being given access to the tree of life, as it tells you in the last chapter of Revelations. The time to come is prepared. Plenteous is made ready. A city is builded. That city being the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians coming back to their true heritage, being known as the children of Israel, Zion, right? The city of peace, Jerusalem, which means city of peace, is builded, and the rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom, right? Because that's exactly what the men of Israel, that the elect, are going to possess. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Hell being earth, right? The regular, just average day materialistic living idiots, right? That's where all this weakness and the corruption and the moth-eaten destruction and deterioration is going to go away. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality, because that's ultimately what we're going to have. We're going to live forever. We're going to be given those new bodies, as it tells you, I believe, in 1 Corinthians. It says, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude that perish. Right? That's going to be all the 2/3 of Israel that's going to die, because again, only one out of every 3 Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, plus the prophets, the 144,000, are going to make it out of here alive. 2/3 of 2 out of every 3 Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians in this world are going to have to die before they get reborn into the kingdom of heaven. And it says, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, through scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous. That's right, because they come and they scoff at us. They talk shit about the truth that we're bringing out, right? Some of them have pulled guns on us. They've done wicked shit to us, right? And ultimately, remember, we are the representatives of God on earth, right? Verse 58. And said in their hearts, there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as the things as aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they, and that's exactly what it is, right? Because the Lord did not go through everything he went through, did not create all this beautiful world, even though it's been destroyed now by the devil. He didn't create all of this just so that way you could be some fucking idiots there farting into your couch eating fucking industrial strength Cheetos, as Apostle Tahar says, right? He didn't make you for that. He didn't make for men should come to naught, right? Because that's what the devil wants, right? But they which he created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life unto them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. Because ultimately, people, this is what's coming to America, right? And regardless if it's being orchestrated by the elite, the 1%, the devils that run this world, it is the will of the Lord. Because ultimately, at the other side, through the Lord's will, the death of the 2/3 of Israel plus the 1/3 of all the world is going to happen, right? So, all right, Akim, till the next time. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to my teachers, the apostle of Great Millstone, peace and mercy to the elect who are the house of David. Shalom.